number 20 in the national rankings, and today they wrap up their non-conference schedule with the New Mexico Lobos from the Mountain West. So great to see you today, and Merry Christmas. With the great Shaniqua Nillis, I'm Greg Talbot, and the Zags came into this season unranked in the national polls, Shaq, but after another big win this week, this time against Arizona, they're up to number 20, and their resume is so impressive.
Yeah, it is so impressive. They've had some great quality wins. You see it on your screen now. They got number 9 Stanford here at home. That was a big one for the program. Went down to Cheney, battled the Eagles. They beat them. Alabama at Cal, most recently against Arizona and at Rice. Great wins for the program. They're ranked 20th. As a former alum, I'd like to see them a little bit higher, but they're going to have to do some work in conference play in the new year.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups today. For the Zags, Kaylee Trong is out with a new hand injury, so Callie Stokes is sliding into her place in the starting lineup. The good news is that Kaylin Trong has played point guard for this team before last year.
Yeah, they're still in great hands, and I think this is a great opportunity for Callie Stokes to slide into that starting spot. She's going to carry a larger role, a larger load next season when the Trongs depart. So this is a great opportunity for her to show her stuff.
And as for New Mexico, this is the lineup they've run out pretty much all season.
Yeah, a great veteran group for them. They start 4 juniors and a senior, but then after that, coming off the bench, they got a lot of youth. So it'll be interesting to see how that dynamic plays out as this game goes on.
Something else New Mexico has that a lot of teams they've played this year haven't is size. In to tip it off, the 6'5" Charlotte Cole from Germany for New Mexico. And she's able to just get the best of Yvonne Ejim, and we are off and running today here in Spokane. Well, this New Mexico team is off to a good start too, 9-3 so far. A lot of wins against low majors. Losses to Montana State, Georgia Tech, and Southern Utah. So a team that kind of gets up and down, Shaq.
Yeah, they play hard, they play fast. You see them running a lot of dribble drive action. They're trying to get at you, get you on your heels. Great job there by penetrating, getting 2 feet in the paint for a little pull-up.
And that was Paula Roos, who's tied for the team lead in points this year, 12.5 a game. She scored double figures in 5 of their last 6 games. She's for real, and so is Yvonne Ejim.
She has just been so dominant this season, does a great job. I don't know how you defend her because she's really evolved her game and grown in the offseason. She's really handling the large role that she plays for the Zags.
Already been West Coast Conference Player of the Week 3 separate times this year. That is almost unheard of.
Yeah, she's just continuing her season of dominance.
Yep.
It'll be interesting how she matches up, like you said, against Cole, 6'5", but she's shown that she handles size very well in past games.
Great shot off the rim by Nia Wilson. She's the person who Roos has tied with the team lead in points for. Also transferred in from Syracuse, so she's new as Vonnie gets it hard off the backboard.
Yeah, and that length might have bothered her there, but expect her to adjust.
Callie Stokes comes flying in. Charlotte Cole had a hand on it, and this will stay with the Lobos.
And you see that pace that the Lobos play with.
Yep.
Whether it's a missed shot and they get the defensive rebound, they're pushing in transition. Even if you score a basket, they're pushing in transition.
And Shaq, it's so funny you say that because you are right. New Mexico this year is a team that likes to run, and yet they are a team that is scoring the vast majority of their points in the paint. They have outscored opponents in the paint this year, 10 out of their last 12 games.
Yeah, pretty impressive stuff, how they, with that dribble drive action of getting into the paint, and you're getting layups, you're getting drop downs to your post players. So they do a great job of moving the ball.
Speaking of moving the ball, out to Kaylin Trong for 3.
Just a great job of skipping it. One more, pushing it into the paint. Whenever you can get paint touches, it just opens up the outside shot. Those are the best threes for your offense to look for.
And that was a really great heads-up pass by Stokes, huh?
Yeah, already, doing some good things as a brand new starter for the Zags.
Tied up at the top of the key. That'll be on Brenna Maxwell, her first. And here's Anaya Ogman underneath the basket. She'll get going too. She's averaging 11 points a game. New Mexico does not get a whole lot of scoring contributions off the bench. Mostly their starters, this team. Tied up, there goes Ogman looking for her first points. 5 to shoot. Roos has got to get rid of it. Cumber, 1 to shoot. Bricked it, and the violation.
The Zags have made a big point of emphasis on their defense this season. Not happy with their defensive efficiency, so that's a great start for them to get that violation for the Lobos.
What could this group do to improve that efficiency as Maxwell hits a 3 shot?
I think it's just being disciplined, whether you're guarding the ball, whether you're in help side, of just knowing what your role is in that defensive possession and doing it to the best of your ability. I think sometimes they get themselves out of position trying to gamble and make that, ESPN top 10 highlight play. And sometimes you just need to be solid. So I think they're all starting to buy into that a little bit. Unfortunately, there, again, getting yourself out of position and just putting yourself at a disadvantage. Callie Stokes picks up a foul, and you want to keep her in the game because, again, I think these are quality minutes for her. So adjust, shake that one off. Good thing is 50% of the game is played on the defensive end, so you're going to get plenty of opportunities to flex your muscle there.
Well, this is Anaya Ugman, who really did a phenomenal job drawing that foul. I mean, she jumped 3 feet to her left to get that foul. And don't hate the player, hate the game, right?
Yeah, that's a smart play. Realized that Callie Stokes was out of position, and she used her positioning to get that foul call. And she's a long, athletic guard that she wants to score. She wants the ball in her hands.
Strong. Tipped away as she got to the hoop. And this will stay with the Zags.
Great recovery there by Nia Wilson to just kind of get her hands in there, strip that away from Trong.
What a pass to Hollingsworth. That was the clean tip by Paula Roos, one of the best forwards in the Mountain West. She'll try a 3 and come up just short. And look at the quick acceleration by Ogman. She is no joke.
Yeah, she's a player. She is a playmaker. She's in there because she wants to be aggressive. She wants the ball in the hands, and she's going to make whatever play her team needs her to make.
Here goes Cumber. 3 to shoot. Got to get rid of it again. And Cole can't finish. They are really winding the shot clock down, Shaq.
Yeah, they're trying to tire out the Zags. It's a long game here, so I think they want the Zags playing for as long as they can.
And we have a whistle before Eliza Hollingsworth put up the shot.
Speaking of wearing you down, that's where Yvonne Ejim is really good of just doing her work early. We see some subs here. I don't know if you guys can hear it from home. The crowd got really excited. Bree Salambian in for the first time in a long time if you're a follower of the program.
What a great day this is for her and everybody involved in the program. Now we're going to talk about this all game, but Bree got here 2 years ago as Trong can't get it to go. Bree arrived as the highest rated recruit in the history of Gonzaga women's basketball, and she was hurt. Well, basically she didn't play year 1. Then she was hurt all of last year, so she came in so highly heralded, but she hasn't gotten to play really until now.
Yeah, and if you're a Zag fan, this is kind of an early Christmas present for you. She is you see it there, her length bothers a lot of people, and she's an effective scorer, and when the Zags lose the Trongs, she's probably going to be who they're looking to fill that point guard spot because she's one of the most capable. So I'm excited for her to have this opportunity because when she is healthy, she is lethal. She is tough on both ends of the floor.
6'2", longer than that on the wingspan, and a great shooter. And she thought about pulling there.
Yeah, I like to see her aggressive though. You don't want to come in playing timid.
So it'll go back to New Mexico. And, I mean, really, if you think about it, with Destiny Burton still not healthy, and now Kaylee Trong being out with a hand injury for who knows how long, you kind of needed that extra help off the bench, and how convenient that Bree is now, as of today, cleared to play.
Yeah, definitely. It's a good sign for the Zags.
A little long from Nia Wilson. Lobo ball. Neither team afraid of putting up threes early on today. Although we'll talk about why that might not be great for New Mexico in just a minute, because, man, they have been underwhelming there this year as Salenbine had a hand on it. Here's Cumber. And they'll reset, but once again, the shot clock is down to 10. Here goes Ogman. Out to Cumber. Finally got one.
Yeah, just a great job of moving the ball around. They don't have a stagnant offense because it is that dribble drive. They're trying to catch you off guard. There's a lot of blur screens that happen, a lot of great cutting action as well. Tough to guard for a full 30 seconds.
All right, here's Esther Little, also in off the bench. Salenbein looking for Mont Hybens, and that'll take us down to our first timeout of this game. New Mexico with an early lead on top of Gonzaga, but Bree is back, and there is some energy in this arena. We'll talk about it more after the break on ESPN+. Well, it is good news for New Mexico that they finally hit their first three-pointer of this game after starting 0 for 4 Shaq. This is a team that was one of the best in this part of the country at three-point shooting, but this year, man, they've really fallen off.
Yeah, but I think that's still part of their identity. This season, they've taken almost 300 threes, and that's about 30 more than their opponents. So I think that's still a part of their identity, especially with that dribble drive offense. They're trying to create three-point opportunities, just not shooting a great percentage. But I think that's the goal, is to get that percentage up and keep that record going for them.
Zags moving into a perimeter zone defense to try to stop those threes from going. Here goes Augmund, and they kind of passed through that zone. Luckily, it was off, and here comes Bree.
And I think that was a great defensive possession there. Good call by the Gonzaga coaching staff to change up their defenses, because that's also not part of Augmund's game. That's where she kind of struggles, is from behind the three-point line.
Brenna Maxwell into traffic, draws the foul.
Mexico foul number 12.
And that'll be on Augmund, her first. And here comes Maxwell to the line. This Gonzaga team, 10th in college basketball in free throw percentage right now, 80.3% as a team.
Yeah, I know that's a big point of emphasis. As somebody who played for this coaching staff, we finished every practice with shooting free throws. That was a big emphasis for Lisa Fortier, as we need to be a team that cashes in from that free throw line.
And don't forget how great Brenna Maxwell was herself at free throws last year, the best in the country for most of the season. Man, Vianney Cumber from way downtown.
But that's just way too easy. That was a couple passes. She was in rhythm, able to just catch, shoot, get her feet set, had all the time in the world to let that fly. If you're the Zags, you want to close out with high hands sooner and make that more of a contest.
Maud Hybens down low. Maud the gone for two.
Great job of working her Lobo defender up the paint. Great pass there, too. A lot of touch from Eliza Hollingsworth.
Augmund really worked Esther Little off of her there. And this is Paris Loro at the top of the key, getting her first run of minutes in today's game. Diarra Berthe, the Spaniard for two. This is a team that is filled to the brim with really talented international players, as Hybens misses and then tries to recover. Diarra Berthe is from Spain, Langerman from Germany, Cole from Germany, Paula Roos from Spain.
Yeah, international talent is something that I think a lot of programs are going to, because they're able to play at a high level at such a young age.
Yeah.
So that just their experience, their exposure to high-level play is something that you don't see here stateside.
Eliza Hollingsworth bricks that one. This Gonzaga team right now 4 for 9 from the field. New Mexico has gotten up 3 more shots in equal possessions. Zags have turned it over a little too much for Coach Fortier's taste so far. Shot clock down to 5 again. Here goes Augmund. Cumber to the corner, Diarra Berthe. No. But I think we've understood their strategy here pretty well, Shaq. They're going to live on the outside today.
Yeah, and that's a great defensive position for the Zags, because Berthe hasn't hit a 3 this season. That makes her 0 for 9. So you'll live with those shots at the end of a buzzer. But Brenna Maxwell knows how to hit from the perimeter. I swear, I would never contest her to a quick trigger draw. She is so quick with the ball in her hands, gets her feet set, lets it fly.
Zags number 13 in the country right now at three-point percentage, 39.5%. That's what you get for bringing back so many great shooting skill players from last year's team. That one won't go, but on a deeper level than that, Shaq, the thing about bringing back all these stars in the starting lineup from last year is all of them, even the forwards, can shoot the three.
Yeah, they are a well-rounded group in terms of scoring. Great look there by Maxwell. They'll live with that.
Only a minute to go here in the first quarter. Aggressively contested so far. Charge. Good draw by Kaylin Trong.
And that's what I was talking about, being disciplined on defense. A lot of times it's mindset and positioning. So Kaylin does a great job there of just staying in front, taking it in the chest, and drawing that charge.
And look who is in, like Bree Sallenbein for the first time this year. Also back from injury, Destiny Burton. Welcome home.
Yeah, great to see Destiny back in the lineup for the Zags. I'm guessing her and Bree both will have some limited minutes, but I think this is a strategic move by Lisa Fortier and her coaching staff to just get them some minutes before the break.
And there we go, Yvonne Agim contested for two.
And you heard her call for it. She was working so hard to maintain that duck in position, holds off the defender, and then there were 3 Lobos, and it just doesn't phase her. She's able to use her soft touch and finish at the rim.
Zags into the lead. New Mexico has not scored a basket in 2.5 minutes. Zags have caught up. Eight seconds between the game clock and the shot clock. It's Roos, their leading scorer. Gave it away. Zags will have one more bite at the apple, 10 seconds.
There was a lot of action there. There was a flat screen that the Lobos set really low with their forward on the free throw line, trying to cause some chaos. And there's blur screens and handoffs, and the Zags just did a great job of being in position, helping each other out, causing that turnover.
Well, 10.2 seconds is plenty to do whatever this team wants to do. They have Trong and Hollingsworth and Maxwell who can knock down the three. Agim and Stokes also on. And here comes Trong to Hollingsworth. That shot might have been tipped just a little bit. And New Mexico will not come close, and that is the end of the first quarter. New Mexico had the lead most of the way, but the Zags into the lead by 1 after 10. Nice big crowd today to finish off the non-conference slate at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Maybe not so much behind the benches, but boy, in terms of the upper section here as Yvonne Agim gets it to go, Shaq. I mean, this is a pretty big crowd today.
Yeah, this is a great way to send the Zags and the Lobos into their new year. Both programs deserve to play in front of a packed crowd. They're two great programs, so this will be a good game for everybody to see.
Good for the Zags to get one more competitive non-conference game out of the way as well, although, I mean, you could say that about pretty much every game on their schedule.
Definitely.
Langerman can't get the three to go. New Mexico is now 2 for 10 in the first 10 three-point attempts. Here's Maxwell. Contested, and that was a clean block by Charlotte Cole.
Yeah, I think when you're going against a player that is dominant in height compared to you, I think you need to go off of 2 feet, try to get into her body a little bit. If you're too tall, too long, it's an easier block attempt for her, and she got it that time.
Cumber. We know she can take that shot from outside. She made one earlier. And I mean, really down low, look at her right there, number 22 in the middle of the paint. I mean, Charlotte Cole, she really presents a unique option because, I mean, really Gonzaga does not play that many teams with 6'5" centers.
Definitely. I think the size is something that the WCC lacks a little bit, so this is a great test for Yvonne Agim and the other Zag posts to go up against her.
New Mexico coaching staff, very loud from their bench, screaming out a play call that I would think it looks like Cumber did not hear coming down the floor. There's Wilson out top. Ball screens, Langerman, 3 to shoot, gotta get rid of it. Carried it.
Yeah, the Lobos have had a couple empty possessions, struggling to score at the end of that first quarter, struggling to score now in the second. I think they had a lot more success when they were being more aggressive towards the rim. I think now that they're starting to settle a little bit from that three-point line. So I would love to see their guards, especially Nia Wilson and Nia Ogman, getting their feet in the paint to either finish or kick out to shooters. That's a more natural three-point attempt.
And setting from a three-point line where they're 2 for 12. And that one will not count from Egypt.
Does a great job of driving here.
Oh, I don't know about that
I
one.
don't know about that one. She
IDK.
gave her a little bit of a chicken wing, but I would think that Charlotte Cole could give a little bit more presence. I don't think she's being cleared out of the path quite like that. So a great job of selling it, but I don't think there was enough there for an offensive foul. But we play on. Happens.
Early Christmas present.
Yeah, exactly.
New Mexico once again winding another shot clock, already down to 10 on this possession. And it just has not been working for them either. Cumber against Maxwell, 5 to shoot. Here she goes, around the corner, no foul. And the Zags want to run. This team likes to run, but today, I mean, they've really been playing in the half court, Shaq.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of playing in the half court with pace, though, so I think that's why they've still been effective. Great footwork there by Hollingsworth. I think that's something that Craig Fortier has done so well with the Gonzaga post players currently and those in the past, of working on them with their footwork. All of the Gonzaga posts do a great job when they catch it in that mid-post area of facing up, using their jab steps, using their fakes, and just being really solid with their pivots. And Eliza there did a great job of getting herself to the line.
Zags haven't scored in coming up on 3 minutes. And Liza changes that. That's a good change of pace. This has been an interesting matchup. I think we came into this one, Shaq, knowing that New Mexico would try the three, but I feel like we're coming up on halftime here, and I feel like New Mexico has more things to pull out of the bag of tricks that they're just hesitant to start doing yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this New Mexico coaching staff is very smart. They're going to adjust come halftime.
Aggressive. Kaylin Strong
did a great job of reading she closed out into the passing lane. I think sometimes if you're a young athlete listening to this, you close out to the person, but if you can close out into the passing lane, you might be able to get a deflection. Maybe not a steal, but just something that allows your defense to reset.
Here's Ogman, 5 to shoot. Langerman over to Cumber, 3, 2, Roos, gotta go up. And a violation, didn't get the rim.
Great job by Roos there of getting herself into the paint. That's the right look for the Lobos. I do think that the size, the presence of Mount Hybens might have affected her shot attempt there, especially at the end of the shot clock.
Is it the Zags size why they're afraid to really try to get into the paint today? What's going on with that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. They also haven't gone to Charlotte Cole. She's on the bench now getting some rest, but they haven't posted her up a lot. I don't know what else to say about Maxwell. That three didn't even look open to me. As a player, I would never have even attempted that, but that's a walk in the park for her, and she knocks it down.
Mercy me, Brenna Maxwell. The Zags are 4 for 6 from downtown. She is already 3 for 4 of those 6. Amazing. Cumber down low, and she got Mount Hybens. And as you can hear on the microphones, the crowd not happy.
But I think that's the right call. Had Hybens just stayed straight up like she did that last defensive possession, but you see her here, slaps in there, that's right across the wrist. Easy call by the ref. She knows it too.
Cumber gets the first of 2, and there at the top of the arc, you can see Bree Sallenbein back in for her second run of minutes. Boy, this crowd has been itching to see her play for, 2.5 years. You and I were talking, Shaq, before the game. I looked at the roster saying, I think we might see Bree today, and she was listed as a redshirt sophomore. I said, why is that fair? She hasn't gotten to play at all.
Yeah, just had a career that's unfortunately been stunted by injury, but like we said, when she's healthy, she brings such a great dynamic to this team.
And you saw her, she subbed in for Kaylin Trong, so she's capable. You saw her handling some pressure there from Nia Wilson too. She has great handles, great length. She's a leader, and I know that she's just gunning for this opportunity.
Langerman back to Ogman. 5 to shoot. Winding it down again. The junior guard got it for 2.
You got to tip your hat there. That was great defense by Mount. She didn't reach. She didn't pick up another foul.
That behind the back dribble from Salenbine, that'll kind of make you excited.
Yeah, she has all the skill set to be a great guard for this program.
Hollingsworth, no. And what an aggressive rebound by Roos. That was something.
And you can see it as soon as they saw that Roos had the possession, the Lobos took off. They are, I think, looking for some transition opportunities. The Zags have just done a great job defensively in transition.
Right. Halfway through the second quarter, Zags staying in the lead by 4 this time in Spokane. Zags leading by 4 at the under 5 media timeout back here in Spokane in the second quarter. And Brenna Maxwell, number 22, just offensively good. The Zags have hit 4 3-pointers, and she's got 3 of those, Shaq.
Just zero hesitation. She is such a shooter. She has a shooter's mindset in the sense of short memory. If she misses, and then there's a quick turnover and she gets the ball in her hands again, if she's open, she's letting it fly again. She's so confident, and she works so hard. The amount of time she puts in the gym, if you were to look up in the dictionary gym rat, you would see her picture. She works so hard on her craft.
Down low to Roos. Puts it in. Adding her from the University of Utah for last year's team really took them from good to great.
Yeah, she was a great addition, and probably exactly what that team was missing last year.
Yep. Salenbine, pretty close. Esther Little tracks it down. And the Zags will go again. Here goes Bree. She wants her first points. Can't get him quite yet.
And she's got to stay aggressive. I think what people also need to keep in mind is game shape is completely different. So she has been practicing, she has been going through contact, but this constant up and down, it affects your legs, it affects your wind. So she's getting back into gameplay, and she will be just fine come the new year.
Oh, great no-look pass to Wilson to the corner for Langerman. Destiny Burton, a little contact there, tied up on the floor. And that was Ogman. Man, is she aggressive. She is always there in on the tie-ups.
And that's your point guard going up against Mount Hybens, yep. Destiny Burton scrapping for a rebound, maintaining possession and getting you guys a baseline out of bounds opportunity.
Man, can this team pass? New Mexico, very impressive. Didn't go down, but they're good at finding pretty small lanes.
Yeah, they thread the needle well, and they're getting some good looks.
Oh, straight up stolen away by Wilson. And Destiny Burton, unfortunately, a little aggressive there on the after effect.
Yeah, frustrated with her turnover. There's a bit of a foul. Lost her composure a little bit.
The referees are conferring here at center court about what exactly they're going to call this.
Yeah, so she's frustrated. There is a bump there by Cumber, which was unnecessary as well. You can understand the frustration, but you have to keep your composure in those moments.
A technical foul on Destiny Burton.
It happened right in front of the ref, so I understand that the Zags fans are a little bit annoyed, frustrated with that, but I think that is the right call, unfortunately, by the refs. If I were one of the leaders on the Gonzaga team, I would be making sure we're all together, and you need Destiny to have quality minutes this game. It's her first game back, so we got to make sure that we're keeping her calm, composed. Just keep everybody together. It's a passionate game, right? Emotions get the better of you, so she just needs to take some time, deep breath, and get another shot at it when she comes back off the bench.
Trong and Stokes back in off the bench for the Zags, along with Esther Little. 3.5 minutes to go here in the first half. New Mexico trying to get back in the lead. They had the lead most of the way in the first quarter until pretty much the very end. Since then, the Zags have been in the lead, so not a lot of changes so far. Here's Roos. Man, she is so good from inside, but Hybens and Little and Hollingsworth so far have done a good job.
Yeah, she is the stereotypical international player, European player. She's very crafty, has great footwork. She's very patient with the ball in her hand, so a great look there, just couldn't finish.
Trong. Oh, with the defender in her face.
And that's got to be on the scouting report for the Lobos. You can't go under any screens, especially with the Trongs, especially with Brenda Maxwell. Just a lack of discipline there.
You absolutely cannot just let the screens go with those three players, not even a little bit. Whistle before the drive.
And I like that from Callie Stokes being aggressive here. But you see Nia Wilson goes under. That's way too much space for Kaylin Trong. Very confident, right in rhythm with her dribble, able to knock that one down.
And the true freshman, Claire O'Connor, justin off the bench, so we knew she'd be getting some minutes today. Here's Callie Stokes, and the net did not even move.
And she's such a big, strong guard. Before that out-of-bounds play, she got a foul call on Ogman by being aggressive towards the baseline. She's strong.
And Coach Fortier wants a timeout, sensing that New Mexico was right on the brink of making a push here to tie the game or take the lead. Speaking of which, we are talking to Coach Lisa Fortier at halftime. Make sure to stay tuned for that. She'll come over right as the second quarter ends.
Lisa Fortier and her staff, quick timeout there. I know that that's on the scouting report by Cumber. She has been a proven three-point shooter. Over 2/3 of her shots are from the three-point line. So that was just a lack of remembering the scout, knowing personnel. And I know for a team that's working on their defense, that is not acceptable. So quick timeout, regroup, reassess, remember the mission on defense, and get some better stops going forward.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. I think we knew coming into this game, Shaq, that it was going to be competitive. New Mexico's a good team, Mountain West, a great basketball conference, both men and women. Did we expect a three-point game after 20 minutes?
I don't know about the exact point differential, but yeah, this is a competitive game for the Zags. This is not a walk in the park before you go on winter break. So the Zags are gonna have to really lock in and know their scout.
No foul, they'll let them play, and Tron makes them pay. Wow.
Great job by Callie Stokes of just staying with it, playing through a little bit of contact, and Kaylin Trong having her feet set, letting it go, per usual.
Wow. That was a heck of a sequence. There have been a couple tremendously impressive sequences for the Zags so far, and Vienna Cumber with another three. They're now 4 for 15, and she's got all 4 of their three-pointers.
Yeah, she's doing a great job of just getting to her spot, being available. Picks up a foul there, being a little bit too physical with Eliza Hollingworth's cut.
All right, so Cumber is 4 for 6 from beyond the arc. The rest of the team is 0 for 9.
Yeah, she's keeping them in this game with her shots from beyond the three-point line. Picks up her second foul here, so it's going to have to be smart this final minute 15.
Trying to inbound out to Esther Little. Coming up on 1 minute to play in the half. Hollingsworth didn't need a lot of space. Gonna force that one up just a little bit.
Yeah, I think she rushed it a little bit. I think that was the right read, given the defense that Cumber was playing on her, but again, just rushed it a little bit. Needs to get her feet balanced underneath her a bit more.
Wilson out top. And if we know these Lobos, and I think we do, I'll take this one down to 2 or 3 seconds, and now they're at 10. Corner. And Ruse the rebound. New Mexico a new chance. Tierra Berte, no. And the Zags will slow it down. 30 on the game clock, 25 on the shot clock.
Two great looks there for the Lobos to end the half. Now the Zags get one more opportunity. Lobos are going to get the last shot at it here. See if the Zags can get something on the board.
Trong, another three. Wasn't happy with that shot. Ruse the rebound. One last chance. Nia Wilson will go for the two. And a charge. Huge. No free throws coming. And that is the end of the first half. Gonzaga 32, New Mexico 29. Well, the referees are talking to the coaches here. Both the Fortiers are confused. They're going to give the foul to Wilson, but they're calling the players on the New Mexico side out of the tunnel and back to the court. They might be taking a look at how much time is left on the clock. I mean, I guess there's half a second.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just make the call and let them go to their locker rooms here, but
the referees are pointing to underneath the basket. I think they're going to make them play for one more half second here. They are. They've just put 0.6 back on the clock. So maybe a shot, maybe just an inbound. We'll see what Eliza Hollingsworth has in mind. Eliza just wants to get it in, and Trong will dribble it out. 32-29, our halftime score. And we'll be joined here by Coach Lisa Fortier. She's walking over to the table, excited to hear what she has to say. Happy to be joined now by Gonzaga's head coach, Lisa Fortier. Coach, coming into this game, we knew that New Mexico loves to shoot the three. They've had a little bit of a down year with the three this year with the three, though. What was your game plan for trying to lock them down from outside?
Well, it wasn't to let 33 shoot a bunch of threes,
right,
or 20, and I think they've both shot several.
Yeah.
So, the rest of their players shoot some, but they're not making them at a high percentage. So that is part of it. It's like normal. It's defending personnel is what we're supposed to do. And I don't think we're doing a great job of that. There are times that doesn't happen with our team, is we're at times really good at defending personnel, and other times it's like we forget what the game plan is on those players.
How do you remind them of that at halftime? What do you say in the locker room about that?
Well, I'll go over again what they all are capable of and how they're hurting us. Honestly, we got to get a little bit more rhythm on offense. We gave up 15 and 14 or something like that, right? That's what it adds up to. So not terrible. They're not single digits. We'd like to have a couple more quarters like that defensively, but offensively, we got to get a little bit better rhythm. They're taking us out. I'm more concerned with the offense than the defense right now.
All right, Coach, thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, 32-29, our halftime score. That would be a fun locker room to be in. It sounds like she's got some things to say. Got a lot more to talk about here at halftime. Gonzaga 32, Lobos 29. It's a close game between the WCC and the Mountain West. We're back with more after this. All right, it is halftime in the Kennel. Gonzaga 32, New Mexico 29 after 20 minutes of basketball with 20 still to go. Welcome back to the McCarthy Athletic Center. Greg Talbot, the great Shaniqua Nillis with you here at the break. And Shaq, I had an interesting reaction to Coach Fortier in our halftime interview just a minute ago, saying she was more interested in the offense at halftime than she was in the defense. I would not have expected that.
yeah, I think the defense is a little bit more of an easier fix for them right now, is just knowing it's the personnel. We have to lock in on each individual player for the Lobos and play them accordingly. If somebody is a shooter, we need a high hand. Your closeout is different. If they are an athletic driver, you need to close out short and keep a gap. So I think they just need to be a little bit more disciplined, lock into that mentality a bit more. But offensively, they've just been really stagnant. They have had some moments where they look really solid, but looking at our score sheet, they have 0 second chance points and also 0 points in transition, which are two things that the Zags do really well. So look to them to make those adjustments on both ends of the floor.
Really quickly, how can they do that on offense?
I think offensively you need to really commit to going in and getting some offensive rebounds. I think there's been a couple times where they're leaking out because the Lobos are known for pushing the ball in transition. But you have to do your work first on one end before you can transition to the other side. So they have to just get going on to the offensive glass a little bit more.
All right, so this is the last day of Gonzaga's non-conference schedule. As we get into the meat of the West Coast Conference poll. Let's take a look at the preseason WCC poll. I mean, this was unanimous, Jack.
Yeah, and I think rightfully so, especially with them returning, you know, 4 all WCC players in Kaylin and Kaylee Trong, Brenna Maxwell, Yvonne Ejim. And I think there's going to be some sleepers for the Zags, too. I'm really liking what Callie Stokes is doing. I don't think Eliza Hollingsworth gets enough credit for her role on this team as well. So they are fully loaded, and they have a veteran crew that's been playing together for a while. I think also them being able to go on their foreign tour this summer and get some extra, you know, you get 10 practices before those things. So they're chemistry, their camaraderie is at a really good point already before conference play has started. So they're a problem for the WCC.
Really quickly, does Portland have a chance?
Yeah. They are, you know, that annoying little sibling, I think, for Gonzaga where you just never know. They might surprise you. Sometimes, you know, last season they took some L's against some people, but then they went down and, you know, got the conference championship. So you have to worry about everybody, and you don't want to lose to anybody that you shouldn't.
Still got to win this one first. More after this. Halftime in Spokane. Gonzaga 32, New Mexico 29 as the Bulldogs close out their non-conference slate today. And in case you weren't with us for the first 20 minutes, let's show you how we got here. The answer a lot of the time for New Mexico, Shaq, was Vianney Cumber.
Yeah, she's just done a great job of being in rhythm, finding her spots. They run a dribble drive offense, so you saw their Ogman dribbling in, kicking it out to her. Too easy, no zag in sight. So she's just doing a great job of getting her feet set and letting it fly. That's exactly what this Lobo team needs from her.
She is 4 for 6 from downtown. The rest of the team from 3 is 0 for 10.
Yeah, so I think she's trying to say, hey guys, follow me. I'm putting the ball in the basket. You never know, that might change for the Lobos here in the second half.
On the Gonzaga side, in terms of three-pointers, you already know, Brenna Maxwell, one of the GOATs.
And this is what she does and what she does best. They run a variety of different plays for her. You see her great footwork coming off that flare screen. Does a great job from Esther Little. Skip pass, corner to corner. A 3 I wouldn't take back in the day, but she is so confident, so capable, and a scorer that the Zags definitely love to have back this year.
Yeah, she is really something. So this team, one quick thought here before we break, Shaq. Our 3 is going to play as big a part in the second half as they did in the first.
I'm not sure. I think both teams are trying to game plan, how do I shut down Maxwell? If you're a Zag, how do I shut down Cumber? So I would imagine some adjustments being made on both of those, but they're 2 very good scorers. They know how to be defended hard, tough, and they're used to these adjustments being made. So we'll just have to see. You have to defend players like this as a team. We'll see how they do.
Big crowd here this afternoon in Spokane. They are here to see Gonzaga hopefully win their 26th consecutive home game. It's been a long time since they have lost in this building, hoping for an early Christmas gift. We'll take one last break, then we're back with halftime stats in the second half of this one from Spokane. Bulldogs 32, New Mexico 29. One more break, and then the second half on ESPN+. All right, just about ready to begin the second half today in Spokane. Gonzaga 32, New Mexico 29 at the break in your pre-Christmas basketball special. Let's take a look at our stats after the first 20 minutes. And Shaq, everything here looks pretty normal, like it checks out, except rebounds. Gonzaga being out-rebounded by New Mexico by 7. That's an issue.
Yeah, great job to the Lobos by doing their best on the boards and getting the best of Gonzaga. I'm sure that was a part of the halftime speech from the coaching staff of the Zags, that's unacceptable, especially in your house. You got to take care of business. I think also part of the issue is bench points. Lobos have 2 from their bench. Gonzaga has 2 from their bench. And that's kind of rare, especially because Gonzaga has a little bit deeper bench, a little bit more experienced bench than that of the Lobos. And also Hollingsworth, she's 0 for 5. She hasn't put many points on the board other than her free throw. So look for her to get some more opportunities. But we have another great half of basketball coming up.
You might be wondering at home, having seen that graphic, how New Mexico is only down 3 points while only shooting 34% as a team. The answer is Gonzaga has let them just put up more shots because New Mexico has been better on the boards.
Yeah, they've had more opportunities, and they're doing something with them. So, again, great, smart coaching staffs on both sides here. Adjustments are going to be made, so I think we have another great half of basketball coming up.
One last question, since we have a little time here before the end of the halftime here, Shaq. We were talking during the halftime show about the West Coast Conference. I feel comfortable bringing this up. The world has been seeing the news reports this week. If you are part of this Gonzaga staff in the WCC, how do you feel about potentially Oregon State and Washington State joining for a couple of years here?
Yeah, I think that'll change the landscape a little bit for those next 2 seasons, make it a little bit more competitive. Hopefully that changes the impact on your rankings, on what the tournament and postseason play look like for you. I think they're still trying to figure out what that bid would look like. But I think you're familiar with Oregon State. You're familiar with Washington State. You've played them a couple of times. Obviously, Pullman is right down the road from us. So I think it's a great thing, and they had to do something, right? So that's what it is for these next 2 seasons, and it'll be a great challenge for the Zags going forward.
Assuming this is exactly what comes to pass, it's been reported that that's what's in the works. It would certainly make for a couple interesting seasons for conference play. It'd be fun, if nothing else.
Yeah, and a nice change of pace, I think, as well. So that's what's coming up in the future, I think. But right now they have to take care of business against the Lobos.
And the rest of the WCC as it stands, this season at least, comes up pretty darn soon. Yvonne Egypt can't get her hands on that. Trong put it a little close to the baseline, and New Mexico takes over. All right, back on the floor for the Zags. Starting lineup today, Maxwell, Stokes, Ejim, Hollingsworth, and Trong. In case you weren't with us for the beginning of the game, Kaylee Trong apparently suffered some kind of new hand injury as part of the Arizona game, and we don't know how bad that is or how not bad that is, but at least she's out today.
Yeah, I think they're giving her some rest, and they're heading into winter break, so I think just being a little bit more cautious, a little bit more of a reserved decision to rest her today.
Callie Stokes going for the steal in front of Ogman, who was an absolute menace in the first half, and here she is trying to work on Hollingsworth, and she gets it over the 6'3" forward. Very impressive.
Yeah, Ogman's longer than I think people realize, but just does a great job of being patient.
Up and under, on Egypt.
I think she surprised herself there. Her reaction was cute.
Great job of using good footwork, being smart with the ball, and she's one of the best finishers I've seen in this Zags program for a while. Just does a great job of using her length and also using the rim to protect herself against the bigger post player in Cole.
Here goes Ogman. So aggressive getting to the 10. Nice put back by Cole, and the Zags get it. It's funny, Shaq, coming into this game, I think we thought Ogman would be one of the main scorers, and she has been as Vonnie draws the foul, but I'm just amazed at how aggressive Ogman has been driving and getting to the hoop.
Yeah, she's a gamer. She definitely is the leader of this team. She makes them go. She sets the pace. Maybe in stature she's a little bit undersized, but she's revved up, ready to go, and she's going to take this Lobo team with her.
And here comes Yvonne Ejim at the free throw line. She had 27 against Arizona earlier this week. Crazy stat about that one. Of those 27, 21 came in the first half.
Just a phenomenal display of dominance against the Wildcats.
Really something. That was a big win. I know Arizona is not quite what they've been the last couple of years, but that is still such a marquee win for your early resume.
Yeah, they're well coached. They're really athletic. They work hard, so that was a great win for this program.
So they beat Stanford, who at the time was ranked number 3 in the country. Arizona, Cal, Alabama. The big loss was to Washington State, who at the time, as Maxwell hits another 3. That big loss to Washington State was no fun, but the question I have for you, Shaq, is, how high can this team go? What's their ceiling? They've beaten some big teams.
Well, it's funny. I actually don't know if this team has played its best. 2 great halves of basketball yet, which is scary. They've been really impressive, but as Coach Fortier said at the break, they're still wanting to be better defensively. So as soon as they can get clicking on all cylinders, as you see Maxwell doing what she does best, Kaylin Trong trips over the ref, she picks her up, she can do everything. A great teammate as well.
Here's Cumber out top, who was so phenomenal in the first half. They're going to let her play. 5 to shoot. Wilson down low. That was a great pass and rejected.
And with that defensive intensity that the Zags are needing, that they're wanting to better, I think Callie Stokes is a great leader for them on that end of the floor. She's tough, she's physical, she'll dive on a loose ball. Does a great job of contesting there. I think she's capable of setting the tone defensively for the Zags.
I feel like I was expecting New Mexico to stop running the clock down so darn much after how often they got burned in the first half. Maxwell, no. Are you surprised that they're not going to stop running it down to 3 seconds on the shot clock?
No, because I think that's been an effective method for them on offense. They're being really patient, wearing the Zags down. It's not fun to be in a defensive stance for 30 seconds each time on defense. So it's working for them. They're still in this game, only down 7, but you can't let this get blown out any further.
Oh, wow, what a pass to Ogman, and rejected. Eliza Hollingsworth, dang. Zags on a 6-0 run the last 2 minutes. New Mexico is 0 for their last 6 shots. And another violation. They didn't get the tie-up.
And Hollingsworth able to affect that shot once again. Does a great job there, just keeping her hands straight up, using her length. You never want to give the refs an opportunity to make a call by slapping down or not keeping your arms vertical. So great job there by the Zags.
So the 6-0 run for the Bulldogs continues. If this goes much further, New Mexico might want a timeout. Oh, wow, what a pass from Trong to Ejim.
And Ejim just never stopped working on that possession for position. Trong and her have a great relationship. Kaylin earlier this week told me if ever I see Vonnie's defender, their back of the head, I'm throwing it because I know she'll go up and get it.
Travel. That's just what comes from so many years of chemistry. This starting lineup, man, with the exception of Brenda Maxwell, they have been on this journey together in Spokane the whole time.
Yeah, definitely. It matters, especially come postseason play.
Trong was looking for Ejim. I'm not sure Hollingsworth was expecting that pass.
I think that was a message offensively for the Zags at halftime, as well as getting Yvonne Ejim more involved. Their first couple of plays to start this half were going through her, and it's been effective. Now they've stretched this lead to 9.
New Mexico continues to play at a slower pace. They'll get a timeout regardless in about a minute with the under 5 media timeout. There goes Wilson, working on Hollingsworth. Outside to Langerman. And still nobody except Cumber has hit a 3 all day for New Mexico. They are 4 for 17 from downtown.
Yeah, and I think in the second half, Cumber hasn't even attempted a 3-point shot, so you see that adjustment being made by the Zags. Great post-to-post pass from Ejim to Hollingsworth, able to draw that foul.
Zags will go to the bench here. Brace Salenbine and Matt Hybens coming in. And Callie Stokes and Yvonne Ejim will take a break. Man, you have to love the noise that that Salenbine is getting when she comes in off the bench. The crowd is really responding to her.
Yeah, I think everybody with this Zag fan base was really excited when we were able to get her into Spokane territory, but just haven't been able to see really what she's capable of. So I think everybody here is excited to see how she does today.
Foul is on Cumber for New Mexico. Maxwell, that was a quick pull. Part of what makes her so fun to watch, you never know just when she's going to put it up.
Yeah, you might think you're close, but not close enough. Cumber gets her first shot attempt from the perimeter of this half.
This will stay with the Lobos. Ogman on the inbound has been phenomenal. Salenbine on defense. She'll give Wilson a little bit of space because she has the wingspan. Ogman driving on Trong. 2 aggressive point guards. Langerman again, and she can't get it again. 4 for 18 from downtown.
And those are great 3-point looks for the Lobos. Little inside-outside.
Here goes Bree. Tipped away. New Mexico's going to run. Maxwell outnumbered on defense. It's Wilson. It looks like she drew it, and she did. On the 2-on-1, Brenna Maxwell. Holy cow.
Great job by Maxwell of just buying her time here. Reads it right, gets her feet set. Again, that half circle doesn't matter this season. Might have been moving, but hey, if you're a Zag fan, you love it.
Zags by 9. All right, Gonzaga by 9 at the under 5 media timeout here in the third quarter. This was a 3-point game coming out of halftime. Shaq, what was the turnaround that happened here, and why are the Zags looking a little bit better?
I think they locked in defensively, got some more stops, adjusted to how they were guarding Cumber from the perimeter, and also getting Yvonne Ejim a little bit more involved offensively.
Ivani was so phenomenal against Arizona, but a little quieter so far in this one. Here she goes. Maybe not quiet for longer. There's 2 more.
She's just so explosive. Her first step is quick, able to use her size to get into the paint, finishes well with both hands.
Oh, good looking one goes down from Paris Loro. And for the first time tonight, a 3-pointer goes down from somebody not named Vianney Cumber.
The Lobos coaching staff has encouraged everybody else on their team to just keep shooting, to keep looking at that basket from the perimeter.
The Lobos are shooting 25% as a team, Shaq, from beyond the arc today. What number do you feel good about as a team? Is it 30? Is it 33?
Yeah, I would say about 30. I think you just have to keep taking the shots that are open and trusting that at some point you're going to knock a couple down. So kudos to them to just getting those shots up and able to have somebody other than Cumber connect.
Hyman's, oh, great pass down low to Ejim. Yeah, I think we have a foul.
Charlotte Cole's just got to do a better job knowing that with that setup for the Zags, the ball's coming from out of bounds over the top to the high post for a quick dunk in from Ejim. So she has to stay up the line so that she doesn't get ducked in and is so low. It's either going to be a foul or 2 points by Ejim.
So say this about it as Ejim goes to the free throw line here. The Zags have done a great job of limiting Charlotte Cole today for the Lobos. That was her 4th personal foul. She's only got 2 points.
Yeah, I always say that when people see an immediate height advantage that they think the taller player is going to be a little bit more dominant. But you have to remember she has to guard Ejim on the other end, and that's probably a matchup that she's not as comfortable with. But I do think that the Lobos need to do a better job of getting her involved offensively.
Paris Loro wanted a second 3 that time, but thought better of it. Here's Roos. So great at the start of the game. Cooled off a little bit the last, 10 minutes of basketball. Wow. Bree Salenbine. Welcome home, sister. Good looking.
Yeah, she jogged back with a huge grin on her face. I know that one felt good.
And New Mexico bangs one home in response. But the Zags are up 11. This is their biggest lead of the game so far. One more time. Bree, welcome home. Zags in the lead. Back after this. Well, she had put up a couple of fun shots and good plays on defense since she got her first minutes today, but Bree Salenbine with those last points. Her first points in 644 days. That is a pretty long gap.
That's such a long gap, and your heart just feels for her. I'm glad that she was able to get one to fall today. If you're here, you could feel the excitement from this crowd that she was able to get that to drop.
And this is fun. They're going to let her run point while Trong is on the bench. Here's Ejim. And I think we have a foul as she went up again. So fun that we're seeing the future of this team, knowing that, both the Trongs, graduate students, Eliza Hollingsworth, graduate student, Brenna Maxwell, graduate student, Yvonne Ejim here at the line is a senior. Who knows what her plans are next year? To be determined, but we know that next year it's going to be Callie Stokes, Peyton Muma, Bree Salenbine in the front court. Nice to finally get a look at what's coming next.
Yeah, and I think Bree has the skill set, the leadership qualities to really take over the load from the point guard position. So good to see her getting some of those reps here today.
Well, Gonzaga has slowly been making a dent and pulling away a little bit here on offense as they get this one back. This was a three-point game at halftime. It got up to 12. It has since receded to 10, but Arizona's second half was a lot better. Brenna Maxwell had, I think, 14 points in the third quarter against Arizona. Gonzaga can be a second-half team as they give it away.
The Lobos are sending a double team to Ejim whenever she catches the ball. There I thought it was a little bit risky because she caught it in the mid-post and was able to reverse pivot, but caused a turnover nonetheless.
Wilson, down low, had the angle and just overshot it.
Yeah, great job by Brenna, just keeping her feet moving, keeping her in front, and not bailing her out with the foul there.
Salenbine, oh, that was only a little bit to the right in terms of pressure. That was perfect.
Yeah, her footwork looked good, eyes to the rim. She's definitely a strong three-point shooter, so that's a great look for the Zags.
Roos out top. The guards have been shooting more, and that includes Nia Wilson, even though it was just in and out. Esther Little been quiet shooting today. Look at Salenbine move. She's able to eat up so much floor. Look at that length. Here she goes. Salenbine, little aggressive, didn't quite have the angle.
I like her being aggressive, though. The Zags are going to need that from her.
Just a hair over a minute to go here in the third quarter tonight. New Mexico's coaching staff cannot be happy with these 10 minutes of hoops. That one goes down again from Paris Loro. She's now got 2 threes to go along with Cumber's 4. Everybody else, still 0.
Yeah, I actually think that's her third of the quarter. I think she got yelled
You're
at
right,
by her coaching staff.
It's 3, you're right, it's 3.
She got yelled at earlier in the first half for not shooting. She passed up a shot, and now you're seeing why.
And there's Eliza Hollingsworth. New Mexico brings it back across. There is a 8 or 9 second difference here between the game clock and the shot clock. So if the Zags get the rebound, they'll have one more good look coming up the court. Roos had space, didn't want to use it. Cumber out to Loro again. The hot hand with an air ball. 13.8 seconds to go in the quarter. Salenbine out and Trong back in.
Zag's going to try to get one final look here. Really important to execute down the stretch.
Hollingsworth, 5 to shoot. Maxwell, here she goes. Trong from deep. A 12-point lead for the Zags. That is tied for the biggest of the game. In back-to-back games, Arizona and now New Mexico, they're doing damage against teams from the great American Southwest. Fourth quarter right after this. And we are back just in time to start the fourth quarter today in Spokane. Number 20 Gonzaga 52, a New Mexico 40, as we already have some contact as Eliza Hollingsworth was knocked to the floor, and the Zags will get this ball back. Well, back-to-back games now. Shaniqua Nillis against Arizona and now against New Mexico. Big third quarter is helping the Zags make some distance.
Yeah, they've done a great job making those adjustments defensively on Cumber especially, and getting other people involved. At the first half, it was kind of the Brenna Maxwell show, but now Ejim's getting a little bit more involved. You have some other key pieces that are making stuff happen for the Zags offensively.
Number 30, Paula Reyes in for.
And as usual, this Gonzaga team spreading out the scoring, spreading the love. Trong has 12, Ejim has 16, Maxwell has 14. Coming into this game, 5 different Zags averaging double digits. That is almost unheard of in women's basketball.
Yeah, they're just so lethal offensively. You never know who's going to hurt you. It's very hard to game plan for the Zags, I think, because who do you focus on? You have a great point guard, 2 great point guards, really, in Kaylee and Kaylin Trong. You have a great shooter, Brenna Maxwell. You have great post play in Hollingsworth and Ejim, and also some key pieces that are starting to play better coming off the bench. They're very tough to game plan for.
This is a team that has a truly legit ceiling, I think, once they get a bite at the apple in March Madness. I think they can make some noise.
Yeah, I think so as well, and they're starting to really commit to whatever their game plan is on both ends of the floor. So I think once they start firing on all cylinders, they're tough.
Looking for Laura off the inbound, couldn't find her. It's Roos. She can't get it. Man, she started the game so hot, but really been ineffective since, I don't know, early in the second quarter.
Yeah, and I do think that the length of the Gonzaga post players, Ejim, she's got long arms, high bends, Eliza Hollingsworth, so there's just a little bit more that she's trying to finish, and I think it's affecting the touch that she's having at the rim.
Over to Little. Zags working the perimeter. Hollingsworth will take the 3, you bet. Man, was that pretty.
Yeah, and she's had a little bit of a quiet night, but I love that she's staying aggressive. That's the perfect shot for her. That's a play that's designed to get those types of looks at the rim. And you see there the Lobos. Reyes with her hands up in the air. I know she wanted that one to go.
Yeah, Paula Roos says, we are the Lobos. Langerman, no. But I gotta love Roos taking that shot to get it right back, huh?
Definitely.
That was the Zags' biggest lead of the game at 15 for all of 10 seconds. And Ogman with the easy drive. That was the one time that the Zags didn't have someone there to force her aside.
Yeah, a little bit of a defensive breakdown there for the Zags. Lobos able to cut this lead to 10. They're not going away. Their game, you see some defensive pressure there. Good job by Hollingsworth of getting on the floor.
Oh, what a great pass to Eliza Hollingsworth. We don't talk enough about this, Shaq. So often when we do a game together, we just label it under chemistry, but what we have seen today, like 3 or 4 or 5 truly great passes where the bounce pass leads the eventual scorer into position. That is so hard to do.
Yeah, that's a underrated art of the game, I think.
And that really only comes with time playing together, right?
Yeah, it's knowing each other's tendencies. We always talk about knowing personnel defensively, but you also have to know, I was the player that maybe you can't throw over the top because I was a little bit undersized, but you can throw me quick bounce passes because I have good hands or something like that. So they know each other very well, and you see it.
Little Hollingsworth, and I'm not sure Liza was expecting that pass quite yet. New Mexico has to bite into this lead here. It's 12 points, and they give it away. Well, maybe not. Might have been tipped. We'll see. Claire O'Connor in off the bench, along with Yvonne Ejim, as Little and Hollingsworth take a break. And Liza with this little ovation there. People very impressed with her last couple of minutes. New Mexico will keep the ball, and O'Connor will guard point here on Nia Wilson. If New Mexico's going to make a move, it has to start now. It's still a 12-point lead for the Zags. 4 to shoot. Got to go with it. Cumber against Stokes. I'm not sure she got it off in time. She didn't. That's got to be 5 or 6.
Yeah, they're doing a great job, especially on that flat screen. Again, it's set so low. You can see that the game plan from the Zags is to force the point guard into their left hand so that they can know how to switch it. Great job of just locking in defensively.
Well, this is a kind of fun lineup the Zags have in right now. As that one won't go. They have a true 3-guard lineup out there right now. They have Trong and Claire O'Connor and Callie Stokes, and Claire was running point.
Yeah, I like that they're trying some different things. With the injury to Kaylee Trong, I think you do get to experiment a little bit. and get people some quality minutes that they might not get otherwise.
Cumber started the game so hot from three, has been cold since then. Stokes, wrist injury, bumping into the table like that, but she wanted the ball.
Yeah, and Cumber just got a little bit too aggressive there. I think she led with her hips. It's funny when you see hands straight up, but I think here she just puts a little bit of pressure. Not a whole lot, but enough that the ref saw something there.
A little scary doing that so close to the bench. You never know, but she is a fearless player. Here goes Callie. Beautiful.
If she's able to give the Zags anywhere from 6 to 10 points a game by doing things like that, just being aggressive off ball screens, she has a great pull-up. She's getting more confident. Again, that changes the dynamic for the Zags for the better.
Cumber got it. All right, 11. New Mexico makes a little bit of a dent, but not before Hybens gets it right back. Great assist from Caitlin Trong. And by the way, that's number 7 for her. She's closing in on a double-double.
Her vision out there is second to none. She does a great job of, like you said, leading people, putting them in positions to score.
Roos didn't see an angle she liked against Hybens. Wilson likes an angle, the deuce and the damage, one more.
Great job of attacking to the middle and then using her body. She kind of slides under Callie Stokes to create some contact. Good job finishing when she got in there. You see it here.
New Mexico will try to eat into this lead more. Still 11 with 4:33 to go in Spokane. Stretch of this one, Gonzaga 61, New Mexico 50. Bulldogs trying to hold on to their top 20 ranking as Nia Wilson goes to the free throw line and gets the extra. Bree Salenbine back in to run point here for Gonzaga for the next 4.5 minutes until this one is done, although, 10 points, Shaq, is not insurmountable.
No, it's not comfortable enough a lead if you're the Zags. You have to lock in, get some better offensive rotation going defensively, staying locked in to the scout.
Wilson went under, but she did not go up. Salenbine knocks it away, but boy, once again, look at that length and the wingspan. We love it.
And she's very athletic, which again, we haven't really been able to see that on display because of her injuries.
Right.
But she works hard on both ends of the floor, so the Zags are happy she's back.
Here's Luro. She's hit a couple of threes here in the second half. Augman wants one. It's the tale of two players. It's Luro and Cumber and nobody else.
So for the Zags, that's exactly what you want. Somebody who's not as much of a threat taking that three-point shot, and you get to set up, run your offense on the other end.
Salenbine out top. Likes the one-on-one with Wilson. But they'll reset with 10 on the clock. Salenbine around a screen. Doesn't like it. Maxwell with 5. Ejim. Time winding down, yes.
That possession was a little bit disjointed for the Zags, but what a great option when you just have a player like Yvonne Ejim that can just go get you a bucket seemingly at any moment.
Roos in response. 9-point game. New Mexico now 10 for 29 from 3. They're back to 35%. They've been getting more efficient. Hybens on the tie-up. Who's going to have the ball? Should stay with the Zags, and it does. Well, this thing is not done. A couple more threes for New Mexico in there. We're looking at a tie game. Ejim. That was a great inbound play. And New Mexico, here we go. Their time is not unlimited. Luro from way deep, and they give up a possession. Although you don't hate it because she's hit a couple of threes and she was open, right?
Well, and that's actually a design play in transition, a little flip pass to your trail, in transition, and then here getting out, running hard in transition.
It's Wilson. Here goes Roos. Wilson again for the angle. She got it. 7-point game.
And that's what the Lobos do, right? They push hard in transition. They try to get 2 feet in the paint, kick out to shooters, then somebody else is driving into the key again. So they're sticking true to their identity offensively. And like you said, it's a 7-point game.
10 to shoot. Zags working the clock. Yvonne Ejim, wow. They needed that shot. They needed it bad.
She was working that whole possession for better position. So tough when she buries you that deep in the paint.
And that's 20 points for Yvonne Ejim. 27 against Arizona, and 20 when they need it against New Mexico.
Just keeps her positioning, keeps Reus on the back side of her, keeps her feet moving, and she does such a great job of finishing on either hand. And great post feed from her buddy there from Mount Hybens to get it to her nice and quick. Because sometimes you run into the issue of 3 seconds in the key, so she does a great job of just staying active, and they feed her really well.
Well, that was huge. If she had missed that shot, New Mexico goes back down. They made it a 4 or 5 point game instead. Here they are at 9.
If you're the Zags, though, your last 3 to 4 possessions of defense have not been solid. You've been 1 step behind or 1 step slow. So they really need to stay in their stance, keep people in front, and again, play the scout. If you're guarding a non-shooter, you don't need to charge out them. Chop your feet, have a closeout that's a little bit shorter.
Foul on defense. Aggressive Vonnie Ejim. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if it's coming through. I'm sure it is on our crowd microphones, but it is loud in here.
It is loud, and they were not happy with that foul call.
And also, I mean, not to be jerks to the rest of the conference, but this is true, is that 3 doesn't go down. It's kind of rare to get a game that's less than 10 points in here. It's awfully fun when it's a close game. Big tie-up. It's a rugby or football, not basketball.
There was a lot of contact at a couple of different moments there. I thought
everybody on the pile.
Yeah, I thought Ejim got fouled as she got that rebound, was trying to make a play, and then, yeah, it just kind of became a rugby pile there at the end.
Inside 90 seconds, New Mexico really needs a quick shot unless they want to resort to free throws. And Gonzaga, like we said, is the 10th best free throw shooting team in the sport, so you might not want to rely on free throws.
Yeah, you want to value the ball these last 90 seconds. You can see the Lobos staff there is trying to draw something up. They want to get a bucket here to close this lead that the Zags have on them.
All right, so inside 90 seconds to go in this one, and part of the reason that the Zags had this main lead that allowed them to maintain a little bit of a buffer was the three-point shooting. They are 9 for 17, and I'm bad at math, Jack. I'm an English teacher, not a math teacher, but what I can tell you is that is over 50% against a team from the Mountain West.
Yeah, that is really good, really impressive. And the two that have done it the most, you see there, is Kaylin Trong and Brenna Maxwell. Kaylin is shooting 80% from the three-point line, and Brenna is shooting exactly 50%. So they're just doing a good job of finding each other. They get their feet set so quick, and they take quality threes. They're not just jacking it up. So it's impressive what they've done here today.
It's going to be Zag ball. Wow.
And that's pretty frustrating, I think, for the Lobo coaching staff. You'd call a timeout to draw something. Hollingsworth was able to get her hand on it and deflect it off the person taking the ball out.
Here goes Trong. New Mexico not fouling yet. That's interesting. They want to see if the Zags will give up a bad shot. Kind of doubt it. Vonnie, 22 points.
So strong. And Bruce there did a great job of keeping her in front, but that's where Vonnie's athleticism plays a part, because she's able to absorb a little bit of that contact and finish. You see Esther Little there using her length, getting into passing lanes, causing some deflections.
Inside a minute to go, and this one is pretty much done now. An 11-point lead for the Zags. That one is clanked. and they'll let it play out. This is going to be 26 wins in a row for the Gonzaga Bulldogs in this building. They're number 20, and after having beaten Arizona, you got to think they'll be higher come Monday.
Yeah, this was a great job of winning one final game on your home court. This fan base wants tacos, though. They had 9 threes, not going to get it. Maybe they will.
The crowd is yelling for
They
Brenda
wanted
Maxwell.
it, but I know Coach Lisa Fourier and her staff, they don't want to do that. They're going to be good sportsmen about it. Brenda's thinking about it.
What a fun game. Gonzaga 67, New Mexico 56. Shaq, we knew it would be competitive, and it was. I think Coach Fourier got what she wanted for her team out of this game.
Yeah, it definitely was competitive. Also maybe a bit more competitive than we thought because of the injury to Kaylee Trong. That might have been a different dynamic as well. But I think this was a great opportunity for players like Bree Salenbein to be reintroduced to the lineup, and Destiny Burton, and just getting some other people some opportunities. Callie Stokes starting. So a great showing for the Zags. Now they can go into 2024 and get ready for conference.
So fun to see all of those players who we haven't seen in a while, but our player of the game is, one that has been the best player in the WCC this year probably. Yvonne Ejim, 27 against Arizona, 22 today, 9 for 11 from the field.
She is so efficient, and I think that's something that needs to be talked about more. Is not only is she guarding post players that are typically larger in stature than her, but what she's able to do offensively night after night is just so impressive. 82%. What do you do with that? I'm just glad she has a Zag uniform on. That's all I'm going to say. She is a beast.
She continues to be probably the best player in the West Coast Conference right now. You have to imagine after doing what she did to Arizona and now again today, she might have just made a case for her 4th West Coast Conference Player of the Week of the year already.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing it better than she is and doing it more consistently than she is. All the accolades she's been able to rack up thus far, she has definitely earned. The work she's put in the postseason has been great.
And this was a fun one, and the non-conference schedule is behind us, and the West Coast Conference awaits. We'll see you after Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas. Bulldogs beat New Mexico. For Shaq and the rest of our ESPN Plus crew, I'm Greg Talbot saying good night from Spokane. It's 26 in a row here in McCarthy.